For generations, the allied kingdoms of Dwarawati and Mandura have maintained a rigid geopolitical stability. That order is suddenly threatened by Patih Udawa, the senior minister of Dwarawati. After serving with absolute loyalty for years, he has vanished for 2 months without leave. Udawa eventually breaks his silence with a letter. In it, he requests that his rural hometown, the village of Widarakandang, be formally upgraded into an independent, self-governing duchy. This map of the regional borders highlights the village as an overlapping claim. King Baladewa of Mandura maintains that the village is his sovereign territory, treating Udawa's request as a direct encroachment on his borders. Baladewa demands immediate punitive action against the minister. Within days, the two kingdoms mobilize for war, risking a full-scale civil conflict over a single border village. The speed of this military mobilization suggests that the village's resources are secondary. For Baladewa, the request is a public test of whether he can allow a subordinate to challenge his absolute authority. Patih Sangkuni, a master of psychological manipulation, sees an opportunity in the rising tension to weaken the allied kingdoms. He gathers intelligence through his daughter, who is married to Udawa. By asking about their domestic life, he intercepts specific household complaints and personal grievances. These private conversations point to a secret. Udawa is actually the illegitimate eldest son of the late King Basudewa, making him the older half-brother of the current king of Mandura. Sangkuni uses this secret to rebrand Udawa's zoning request. He tells King Baladewa that the minister isn't just looking for a duchy, but is planning a military coup to claim his birthright. Baladewa already views his family's history as a point of vulnerability. Hearing Sangkuni's version of events, he abandons diplomacy and immediately orders Udawa's arrest. A manipulator can turn innocent intelligence into a justification for war by feeding it directly into the pre-existing paranoia of a world leader. Royal forces move against Widarakandang, forcing Udawa into open combat against his own cousin, the commander Pragota. As the battle escalates, the Kurawa faction arrives. These political opportunists seek to exploit the chaos and eliminate Udawa while the allied kings are distracted. Udawa is forced into a deadlocked duel with Patih Adimangala. The fighting continues until the wise figure Kyai Semar intervenes, physically separating the two combatants. Kyai Semar exposes a genealogy omitted from the royal records. Udawa and Adimangala were born to the same exiled mother, but fathered by 2 different royal Pangedans, making the 2 enemies biological half-brothers. Seeing his own court collapsing into a dispute over state secrets, King Kresna intervenes. He halts the military action and moves the case to a neutral arbiter, King Matsyapati of Wirata. When a kingdom is built on suppressed historical truths and hidden identities, internal fractures will eventually destabilize its entire foundation. The trial takes place at the Kingdom of Wirata, an institution that functions as the final court of arbitration for regional disputes. The legal argument is a stalemate. Baladewa asserts sovereign rights, while Udawa claims historical ownership, but neither side can produce a physical deed. King Matsyapati breaks the deadlock by opening the Kitab Pustakaraja, a legendary ledger that records absolute geographical and historical changes across Java. The book reveals a documented legal transaction. Years ago, the late King Basudeva formally severed Widarakandang from Mandura to reward the people who raised his children, making Udawa the legal owner. With the historical record made public, the narrative of a rebellion is replaced by the reality of a documented property right. Even with the law against him, King Baladewa refuses to yield. He rejects the book's verdict and demands a trial by combat to settle the dispute. In the middle of the duel, Baladewa strikes with his primary weapon, but Udawa successfully deflects the blow using the Karis blobber. This dagger is a recognized royal heirloom. Its presence in Udawa's hand is physical proof that he carries his late father's private blessing. This physical proof coincides with an emotional appeal from the royal family. They remind Baladewa that throughout their childhood, the unacknowledged Udawa acted as his constant protector. Objective data can resolve a legal argument, but a lasting peace requires the acknowledgement of a shared history and familial bonds.